iHeartRadio, the man in the arena, the LifeVac radio show, where we explore incredible stories of courage, resilience, and life-saving moments. Here's your hosts, founder, inventor, and CEO of LifeVac, Arthur Lee, and LifeVac advocate and president of sales, Rick Fatscher.
I'll be Rick Fatscher. Yes. So a little different show. I have my friend Courage here. He'll be my co-host, and I have Danielle in the studio. But the gist of today is revolving around chapter 20 of my book, Manners Cop and the Rise of Accidental Rudeness. Now, we're not going to delve into it as much because we have such incredible guests, and I have one that's on a tight time frame, and her name is Betsy McCoy, former lieutenant governor in New York. She's an author, she's a TV personality, but more important than all that, she is one amazing human being. I find that if I am in her presence, I walk away feeling better. But in the lines of the Manners Cop and the Rise of Accidental Rudeness, when we met, her mission has to do with infectious diseases and infection in hospitals. And it's such an underlying unknown tragedy. And so was choking, right? One person, one child every 5 days, 5,000 a year, fourth leading cause of accidental death. So along those lines of the awareness that these challenging and deadly things exist. So, but more importantly about Betsy is she's just an amazing person and tackling something that is not prevalent. We don't know enough about it. And the man in the arena is about being in the battle and fighting these battles that no one knows about. And yeah, you know, the good thing about it is there is failure involved, but it's also about keep going. So, because she's on limited time, I'll bring her in right away. Betsy, you there?
Because Arthur is my hero, so when he says nice things about me, I feel wonderful.
Well, because, you know, I wish I could bottle the feeling that you radiate and your enthusiasm for such a cause that is so unknown. And you just amaze me. She really like glows, you know, like you ever been around someone and like you walk away, you feel better, like you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
You're a lot like that.
Yeah, it's always nice to be around people like that.
So Betsy, give us a scoop.
Well, the scoop is I'm so glad to be on the show because whenever I have a microphone, there's one thing I want to do with it. I want to alert everyone listening to the problem of hospital infections and tell them that we can help protect them. We don't usually have a choice when we're going to go into the hospital. It's not voluntary like going out to dinner. And yet, I am amazed and a little exasperated. For example, New York City inspects restaurants for cleanliness, but not hospitals. Can you imagine? You can go home and make your own dinner. But in hospitals, this problem of cleanliness, lack of cleanliness, is killing so many people. In fact, over 100,000 people a year die from hospital infections. 100,000 a year, Arthur, just in our country alone.
Well, when you told me that, and we had that connection of fighting these unknown battles, the man and the woman in the arena of these things that we're not aware of, you know, and the thought was that we had similar missions, right? Awareness is the first key because who knew 100,000 people? But, you know, being the woman in the arena, you didn't just sit back and wait for hospitals to get clean. You did something about it. And, you know, you can get the rig kit at lifevac.net, and we will persevere to get the insurance industry involved because money makes the world move, but who cares? It will help us save lives. But tell us about the rig kit.
Well, the rig kit is it's an item that almost everyone should have in their bedside table or in the closet right near their front door. When they realize they have to go to the hospital, this is what you need to take. And it includes in it the tools so that you can protect yourself from a hospital infection. I'll give you just 3 examples. If I asked you, what is the number 1 predictor of who gets a hospital infection? Is it their age? No. Is it the sickness that brought them into the hospital? No. the number one predictor of which patients get a hospital infection is which room they're placed in,
Right?
which
Amazing.
bed they're assigned to. If they're put in a room and a preceding patient had an infection in that room, they're going to get it because that preceding patient was discharged and sent home, but his germs were left behind on the bed rail, the call button, the TV controls, the privacy curtain. Can you imagine that is the number one cause? Germs left behind when the previous patient is sent home.
Yeah, but the genius to the rig kit is that we can be self-reliant, right? If we have someone or a loved one and we're going in, we can get a rig kit and it has the instructions, it has the antibiotics, it has the slippers. It is the kit to prevent this from happening.
That's right. For example, one of the items in the kit is a good supply of these bleach wipes so that you or a loved one can clean those high-touch surfaces right around the bed every day. And we have the research to show that just using that one item, the bleach wipe, reduces the risk of the most numerous hospital infections, C. diff, by 86%. Can you imagine?
That's 86,000 people a year whose lives could be saved. Wow. Now, we save lives, not 86,000 a year, maybe someday, but the really what's frustrating is getting this message out there, right? Who knew? Did you know?
No.
You like to say that to me. Who knew? Who knew?
Didn't know.
Well, let's take another example, Arthur.
You go, who knew? Do that.
Who knew?
Yeah, see, that's how he does who knew.
Who knew? Let's take another example. In the kit is a small bottle of something called chlorhexidine soap. Almost all surgeons, including orthopedic surgeons, will tell you if you're going into the hospital for a knee replacement, a hip replacement, heart surgery, you should start bathing with this soap 3 days before you go to the hospital. It removes the dangerous bacteria you could have on your own skin that would migrate to your surgical incision and cause a nasty infection. So there it is, the kit.
You know, I thought of you the other day. My sister's and brother-in-law's brother-in-law went in. His wife went in, at back surgery, came out, no problem. He went in, he got an infection.
Uh-oh.
And he was in for like 2 months. And
oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
yeah, I know, but I think in a way he's okay, but it's a God wink to kick me in the butt to re-energize my battle on this. And, you know, maybe it's a God wink that someone in the insurance industry is listening, because it would be so simple that your insurance got that you were going in for an operation. They sent you a rig kit because, you know, our mission is saving lives. Same with, you know, LifeVac. Now you're going to get sued for not having it, but we don't want that. We want the people to be okay. We want them to, you know, not get an infection.
Exactly.
So,
and the insurance companies should want this too, because it first of all sends a very powerful message to their customers that they care, and secondly, it will reduce costs.
Tons of cost. I mean, he was in for an additional like 3 weeks. I mean, that's tremendous amount of money. But if the evil money drives the solution, fine, let's use that, right?
Yes.
So I have to
and people can also come to hospitalinfection.org, our website, hospitalinfection.org, and get lots of information. And they can also order the kit, and then they're taken back to your website. It's really cozy, Arthur. My website is connected to your website.
Ooh, I like that. Hey, baby, let's connect on our website. No, but I, you know, and that's probably a little God wink in itself, that we both have these missions that are, you know, the unknown, right? When you say your number and I say my number, people go, what? Really? 5,000 people choked death, fourth leading cause of accidental death. You say 100,000 people die from a hospital infection. And what's really frustrating in both cases, and I'll tell a story about LifeVac later, but it doesn't have to happen, right? This is not rocket science.
That's
you know,
right.
Get the rig kit, clean yourself, wipe yourself down, wipe down the surfaces. You got a kid, get a LifeVac. Don't have them choke to death. Let's get it in the schools. We have similar missions of these unknown huge killers.
Well, I want to say as I'm leaving, it was a lucky day when I met Arthur. I met him in the Newsmax green room,
Same way.
showing everyone.
Well, wasn't that right before your grandchild, right?
That's right. And he was showing everyone his choking device, choking prevention device. And I went up to him. I thought, I'm going to talk to that good looking guy. And I said, to him and I said, can you make my kid too? And he said, absolutely.
Well, because we're kindred spirits and we're fighting these unknown dragons. And, I know I don't have to say it, but you will keep fighting and I will keep fighting. So,
Yes.
and I know you have limited time. I appreciate you coming on. I get to see you for lunch tomorrow.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. And we'll re-energize and reattack.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being on.
It wasn't spoken about, but also it'd be amazing in a nursing home because
I know.
Oh, yeah.
although we do have obviously protocols and policies to follow when we're cleaning or doing a terminal cleaning, when somebody changes rooms, things get missed. I mean, that's just things just get missed. So it'd be nice if you had a loved one in a nursing home and you
had the kid
knew to wipe down certain things. It would be great.
Well, to me, we can't rely on others. Well, I said can't. I'm not supposed to do that. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
But we should not rely on others. Our world has become pointing fingers. We need to be more self-responsible, right?
100%.
Now, you're going to go in the hospital and get an infection, be there for 3 months, and then say that hospital isn't clean. Okay, well, what good is that? Oh, we didn't have a LifeVac. So, okay, the kid's dead.
Right.
So we need to emphasize our own personal responsibility, and with the rig kit, it's, I just have to get in front of the right people. And, you're going in for an operation, you get a rig kit, comes out of Amazon or comes out of us. And as soon as you get that notice you're going in, it shows up at your house. 100,000 people. Crazy. You ever go in the hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Mental?
No,
No?
not just regular.
What kind of stuff? What'd you have done?
It wasn't locked.
What?
What'd you have done?
I had a problem with my heart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's nice knowing you. Take care. All right. So Courage will no
It's
longer
funny,
be
like,
on the show.
People who say like they meet you now. They say, "Oh, he's such a fun, interesting guy." They don't know you
Yeah.
when you were really interesting.
Let's really go into some of those stories. Your comic relief here. You read my book. But we have a little bit. Let's see. What are we at? Yeah, we're cool. So in the chapter, and we're going to talk about you, but did you read it just now?
Yes, I read it.
Okay, good. So Manners Cop and the rise of accidental rudeness, right? So, and how it ties into what we're talking about was, I was at an airport and I was in line. I went in the bathroom and I came out, and there was men and women on different sides, right? And there was a lady in the middle, just standing in the middle on her phone. And I'm like, that's pretty rude, I'm trying to get by and standing in the middle of the thing. Then it hit me. She was on her phone and didn't realize that the line had grown. So when she first was on her phone, no one was there. It was no big deal. You walk around there. And I said, oh my goodness, we're developing accidental rudeness from our phones alone. And you're at the gym, you got your music on, and you don't realize someone's waiting for the machine. And it ties into, we don't realize that 100,000 people died from an infection in a hospital. We don't realize that 7 kids have died in school from choking. So I think, and it's going to go into what you dealt with and your mission to get elder people clothes and advocacy, that these underlying battles exist. And the technology created that woman's rudeness, and these subtle things, like there was no answer to choking, right? So kids would choke to death in school and they'd say, oh, well, we did die. I'm like, what are you going to do? And in the elder care world, more and more people are going into them, My grandparents were home. My parents were home. Now we have a world that's running so fast and they're getting shoveled off. And I don't mean that. I know it's a challenge and it's appropriate, but we have created issues.
We can do better.
We can do better.
We can do better.
That's
There's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah. So that's the kind of the tie-in that it's almost being more conscious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You encourage, like with the kids, right? You coach kids, and you're a high school coach, right?
Yeah.
Do you see them not as connected because of the phone?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can have the best conversations texting, and once you see the kid and you're looking at each other, it's gone. They
Yeah.
can't even look at you in the eye. Not that they're disrespectful or anything.
Right.
They just don't have the skills. It's not
Right.
developed.
But that's almost part of the accidental rudeness. Like the guy's
Yeah.
quiet or he doesn't
Well-
listen and pay, you know. And,
going back to the lady you were talking about on the phone, you could say she was rude, but some people are just don't realize.
That's my point.
They're ignorant. Yeah, it's not like they're trying to be rude. They just don't think that way, which I always thought was crazy. Like, I'm like, how do you not figure this out? You know?
Now, how did you learn manners? Do you have any manners?
Most of it was I tried. No, I guess it was when I saw someone with bad manners, I used to get embarrassed.
Right.
Shame. If
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
shame, you don't. You're
Yeah,
really, yeah.
that's a good point.
And then I would make sure. It was a big thing to me. I mean, that's how I was raised, and you make sure that you just don't do it. Do the
Well, that's
opposite.
in the book. I go into, my Jackie used to call me the manners cop,
Mhm.
because I would be like, that was a non-negotiable, but what I think and what we have to understand or realize when we're teaching those lessons, it's fun. Being
Yeah.
polite is cool, like holding the door. I end the chapter with, I'll hold the door a little longer now. Like I'll see someone across the parking lot, I'll wait. I'm like, I'd rather just wait. It's fun. I get to open the door. Oh my God, that was so nice of you. I had a funny one the other day. I was in Florida, and the ladies' room's like on the side, and the men's room is facing out. So like a hallway with one door on the side. So if you're walking down it, you see a door. But that was the men's room. Ladies' room was against the wall. I didn't notice or see that. So I see a lady coming down, and I went to hold the door for her. I'm like, oh, wait a second. And we both had a good laugh because I was like, my manners cop brain kicked in. I'm like, I'll hold the door. Oh, wait, you're not going in there, are you? But I think there's a joy to being polite. You know?
Yeah.
And also, me and you, sometimes it could lead to funny stuff.
Right.
Have you had a
We're
good
taking
funny manners moment that you can think of? You usually have a good story on stuff like this.
Can't just throw it at me like this.
I can. I just did. That's the way it
not
works.
AI or
Siri.
I'll
How about
figure
you?
it.
Give me your manners. How did you learn them?
How did I learn them?
Do you have them?
I think I have them. I can't be positive. Some say that I might not. At times I don't have a filter, so I'm not really sure if that's a manners
But
thing
I was
or no
thinking
filter
about
thing.
that. I was thinking about that with you because you have fantastic manners, an amazing soul, but you do have no filter. But it's not usually being rude. It's being
Danielle.
being Danielle.
You have to really appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh my God, what happened to my clock here? Okay, we can take a quick break, Bobby. And
Commercial?
I'm not really good at this.
Right.
Rick's good at it. I'm not. You should do this. Take us away to something.
Well, if I have time to prepare, you told me come down. It's me and you talking on the radio show. I had no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I kind of did that to Danielle.
I haven't seen him in a
too.
while. I was like, all right, let me go see him. You were talking about kids. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I find with kids in their 20s and 30s, the difference between our generation and them is like they're not that opinionated. They don't have any opinions.
No.
I say to my son, what do you think about abortion? Are you for it? Are you against it? For example,
Right.
like like they don't even know enough to have an opinion.
Well,
I remember in college, I was in the student union debating these groups, like you're sitting there talking about it. The kids nowadays, they have no.
Think about this too, and it ties in that we all would see the same TV shows. We'd all see the same movies, right? We quote movie lines. They don't quote movie lines because you watch Netflix, I watch Hulu. She's on TikTok. He's on, Facebook.
Peacock.
We're all on different pages.
Peacock.
Peacock. There you go. But we all have difficulty relating because we're all on different agendas.
Apple.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's interesting. I'm not on any dating websites, but I know people who are, and they say that they do so much communicating on the text messages that when they actually meet the
They have
person,
nothing to talk about.
they really
Yeah,
have nothing to
I
speak
can see
about.
that. I can see
That they
that.
just
very
sit and pretty, like
awkward
it's,
time.
yeah, it's not like, hi, how are you?
Yeah,
You know,
I
because
know
that all
that.
happened already.
Yeah.
You know, I already know
Right.
you're divorced, you have 5 kids, you work for wherever.
Right.
They say that when they go on the date, it's a very weird, it's very awkward
Yeah.
because they have nothing really to speak
Right.
about anymore.
Well, that goes back to what I said about the kids. Like they can text. You have a great
Mhm.
communication when you see them. You're talking to them. They almost like they get scared or something. They don't want to talk.
I was out. It was early. Jackie was little. We were friendlies, and I thought it was so
love
cute.
friendlies.
Like I saw 2 high school kids look like a first date kind of thing.
Mhm.
They were both on their phones, and I felt like bad. Like
Yeah.
that was an exciting time.
As soon as they get shy, that's like a defense mechanism.
I think
too.
and it's crazy. And
Yeah.
but on the bright side, to close out this, because I want to talk to you about your mission and everything, that I think when we teach manners, right? It doesn't have to be the stick, right? You get that look from your parents like you didn't properly, thank you, please, or
Mhm.
did something,
Right.
you were like terrified. And then you got the guilt, like you wanted to be a good person.
Right.
But I think we should shift in when we're working with them and teaching them and growing them, the joy of it, right? How good you feel when someone said, "What a polite boy." And I believe that the kids do have good manners in general.
Mhm.
Please, thank you, and that. But I think it's more to continue to push the good feeling you get
Right.
from being polite,
Yeah.
and kind and considerate. And the accidental rudeness was to bring awareness, right? That we have to be conscious of not being rude by
Right.
accident. Sitting on the gym equipment, not looking on
It's
your
also
phone in
it comes to
traffic.
parenting too.
Yeah.
We had a
Lead by example.
babysitter. The lady who was babysitting our kids, she used to always say, "There are no bad kids. There are bad parents
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
parenting."
It's
And I
like
can
pets.
see that.
Such a good
It's
point.
how you raise the kids. How you tell them.
Right, but I think part of that could be including the joy of it. And like I said, I
Right.
conclude because now, being a little older, I will wait longer to hold an elevator or open a door or let someone go in front of me in line
Right.
because they're in a hurry. Like it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. It brought back. It just reminded me of a story. When I was coaching travel, a lot of the parents that we used to hang out with, they used to always come to me and say, when Danny comes up to me, he saw me at the bottom of the bleachers. He came all the way
Yeah.
up, shook my hand. Hello, Mr. Murphy.
Yeah.
He goes, that was amazing. And I'm
Mhm.
going like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But then I'm thinking like, I coached your son for the last 4 years. He still doesn't say hello to me when he walks by me.
know.
How do you I didn't
Yeah, but
get it.
that's a good point because I saw him the other day, and that is him. He
Ryan, you
is
saw
that
Ryan.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
I was getting my knee checked
Mhm.
down, and I think he still calls me Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, jerkhead,
You told me, yeah.
doofus. But he is a super
Yeah.
polite kid,
Yeah,
and
thanks.
he is very formal in how polite he is, which is a beautiful thing. It's a very good sign, and I like it.
You see
And
his
you did
six-pack?
good. What?
You saw his
Oh my
six-pack?
God, he's ridiculous.
He's built like Ronaldo, right? You would never know.
Oh.
So every once in a while, he'll do something that shocks everybody. They're taking two of his friends and him, they're taking a picture there in front of him. And right before they're taking a picture, he was like this with his shirt. And they didn't even know. So they're like, whoa, Ryan.
Yeah. His son, his 2 sons were excellent soccer players. He coaches soccer now. He coached them. Great coach. And his son is just a really good kid, but you wouldn't know, but he's a rock.
He's a rock.
Yeah.
You would never know.
So.
You would never know. Yeah.
Bobby, are we going to a commercial?
Oh, we weren't at a commercial that whole time?
No. Like, we're at 24 minutes. I kept waiting for a commercial
She started to choke on a piece of candy.
She wasn't breathing.
Then Ray reached for the LifeVac, and it saved her.
She could have easily died that day. A LifeVac saved her life. What I would say is don't need a LifeVac and not have it. Have a LifeVac and hopefully never need it.
Recently, the American Red Cross has added anti-choking devices as an option when standard protocol fails or is not feasible.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
We're back.
We are back live with the man in the arena. How was that?
Perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah, it
good.
was pretty good, actually.
Okay,
You're good
come
at
on.
this.
Let's talk Danielle now. Do you know about Danielle?
No, she looks so familiar. I'm just we never met before.
Post
I don't
office?
think so.
Post office?
Post office, yeah.
No, she doesn't look like the post office type.
No, I am actually.
Oh, she is. She
I actually
definitely
really am.
is. No doubt in my mind
No
that
doubt.
she's post
I've been
office
there,
worker.
Yeah, I know what those bars
Come on.
sound like when they
All
shut.
right, all right. What but tell us tell us a little bit and connect it with
It's connected with what you just said,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah.
So I started a non-for-profit.
Well, wait, talk a little bit about your passion, where it comes from. How long have you been in elder
Oh,
care?
okay. Well, I've worked in nursing homes since I'm 17 and I'm 54. So that's
Wow.
like,
She's 54.
that's like a minute. I've been
Just
in
like
it,
you. Why do I got to look crappy?
I
How
know.
come we look like
but you're
garbage?
not 54.
I'm 60.
I know. So,
He's like, you're like 80, right?
60.
60.
so I started working in nursing homes. I started working in nursing homes when I was
I
17
know.
and fell in
So
love,
rude.
literally fell in
Speaking
love
of
with the elderly population for many,
manners.
many reasons. But over the years, what I actually saw was kind of heartbreaking. A lot of people don't get visitors.
Wait, stop for 1 second.
Why?
This is cool. What'd you fall in love with?
Their innocence.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Well said.
they're innocent.
something
They're
about
really, they really just want to. They're not looking for anything, right? They're just looking for
Wow,
a
that's a good
hello.
point.
They're not looking for a new car. They're not looking for you to buy them anything. They're just looking for you to treat them with dignity and respect. And a smile goes a long way for these people. It's completely amazing. They want a good meal. They want to sleep well. They want to feel safe. They want to have see a doctor. Like they're not asking for anything that you wouldn't expect them to have.
I think your first inkling is, they want to smile, they want to talk, they want to wave, just some
They
attention.
want
I
be
love
connected.
I used to like getting the story. Like
100%.
you've had some characters. I've
I've
met
had
a
lots
couple.
of yeah, Carl.
Yeah.
I've had lots of characters. One of the things I actually wanted to do, which I never was able to do, was to do a study on touch therapy because they're never really touched, right? They're touched when they get washed. They're touched when they get put to bed. They're touched when they get a shot. They're touched when they get
Yeah,
a medicine.
that's a good
But like,
point.
does anybody actually touch them? So
Well-
I'm a big hugger to them. I'm hugging them all day long.
Wow. How old are your parents?
Have a-
My father and my stepfather passed. My mom is 82.
Hey, that works. That's pretty
Mom's
good, that
82.
hug stuff.
It does work,
Yeah.
actually.
But here, let me tell you a quick story on that too, and it's the humanity. So I was out. I think I told you this story. I probably didn't tell you. So I'm out in it was in Delaware, I think, doing something, and these two girls come out of the bar. I could tell they were a little tipsy. Right to my left is a whole row of homeless people. Right. So I say, all right, they were walking by the homeless people to go to their hotel. I could tell they were at a business meeting. So I said, I'll just watch and, make sure they get through. So they get a little further. So I actually kind of walk out. I'm in the middle of the homeless people. And I was just watching them. I could see they were about to make it. And I'm standing next to the guy. And I light a cigarette and I go, you want one? And you would think I offered him $10 million for that same reason. He said, no one treats us like we're regular people. Like he got teary eyed because I said, you want one? Like I was just talking to him. And then I hung out and talked to him for a while. But it goes back to this unanticipated accidental rudeness that we are rude to these people, right? We don't mean to be. But it just hit me so powerfully that how much he appreciated being treated human, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No,
I can relate
it's
to
the
that.
same thing. Is that that's what they want. They crave affection, attention.
Just to be treated.
To be treated like
nicely.
human beings. To have a nice meal. Nothing, and they're not asking for lobster and steak. They're asking for a meal that's hot when it's supposed to be
That's
hot,
what you like.
cold
What
when
do
it's
you
supposed to
like?
be cold.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
So when you're old, you could ask for spaghetti meatballs.
They haven't.
No, like we do. It's on our menu. If you want to
Oh,
come over to
there you
our
go.
nursing home, we
Just
have
said.
it. We have it.
Okay, so bring
so-
us into
So I just
the
so
nursing
going
home
out there.
warrior.
So going throughout the years, I noticed that they were lacking a lot of compassion from the staff. That they weren't treated with dignity and respect, especially if they have something like a diagnosis, like maybe dementia, right? Because then people don't.
Oh, that's tough one.
Yeah,
And some of them act out. Some of them
Right.
are combative. Some of them are verbally abusive, and they don't mean to be. They have something wrong with their
Right.
brain, right? Or someone
Did you ever watch the videos from Tipa's show?
no.
Tipa's show, I went and I saw her do a presentation in Florida, and she's like a world leader in more of the sociological, psychological challenges of dealing with someone going into dementia. And it was amazing. And I highly recommend anyone who has to deal with that really tough situation. But a lot of it had to do with stuff you're like, oh my God, like if you go to change them, right? And you go right at them, of course they're going to be afraid, and all sorts of techniques that you would not kind of pick up, right? Or getting mad. I told you. I don't know. So stop.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
Yeah.
Nothing bothers me more when I hear somebody saying to a patient who has
No
dementia, who's
respect.
suffering from dementia, sit down. They're not a dog.
Sit down.
Right.
They're not a dog.
You remind me. You would get along with my wife so good. She's a special ed teacher. Her mom is 97, and she's there almost every day.
Well,
at
you
her
have to
house,
be.
Yeah, and I thought it was just her mother, but she just like that. Like you can see
Yeah, she
the
is.
respect.
Well,
that,
how
you know,
about
that-
remember when we had our class come to the treehouse?
Yeah, yeah.
So
And she got in trouble, I think, for that or something.
I did,
Yeah,
everyone
The
did.
everyone
treehouse
did.
at your house that you built?
yeah, so
Yeah.
she taught special needs, and
You
she's
brought them to the treehouse at your house?
Talks my wife
Oh, yeah.
into bringing her a special ed class.
to my
to
front
his
lawn.
treehouse.
Did they climb up?
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
were you thinking?
Yeah, I know.
I thought it was cool.
And my
But-
wife went for it. Goes, these kids are all stuck in the classroom. They're not doing everything.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So we did this thing. So she sets it up and has them like do drawings, and she prepared them. What would your dream treehouse be? And they had to draw it, and they all brought their drawings. And then I set up some tools and showed them how to build it. We had blankets on the floor, and then I took them up the ladder into the treehouse.
I'm sorry. That
Yeah.
just does not seem like a
my
genius
wife was
idea.
on the
Had a
phone
great
calling
time.
our insurance company. Like,
That's
I'll
not
be
a
our-
genius.
I thought it was good. But
Genius.
here's something cool. Two funny. One was funny. The kid with the piano. So in my treehouse, on my little treehouse desk, I had a piano stool as like the return, right? Because it was cool. You could put stuff in it and see the maps. And so the kid comes up and he goes, that's a piano stool. I go, oh yeah, man. I said, that's pretty good. Way to go. He goes, you're gonna put a piano up here? And I was like, I don't think so. It's a little heavy.
Although you thought about it for a
Well,
second.
for a
you said,
second,
maybe
I
I
was like,
should.
it could be cool. But the real gift of that, and I guess why I historically, do things that could get you in trouble, was one of the kids. She told me he couldn't really handle anything like height wise, like going over the slide, right? And he was very introverted. I didn't know, so I'm like, let's go, dude. He climbs up the ladder, and that treehouse was about 13 feet to the floor. This is a kid that couldn't go over the slide.
How did he get down? Is what I want to know.
Like I went on the side of him as they climbed the ladder, and I climbed them back down. But she said,
After I found out that, I thought they were just going to go look at it. I didn't know they were going to go up one by
"Yeah,
one.
took them all up in it."
Yeah.
The boss showed up at my house, but I guess it was so.
I told my wife,
loved
I'm
it.
like,
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Yeah. Well, that's when me and her are together. That's like me
yeah,
and you together,
yeah.
but different kind of stupid stuff happens. But the point,
She loves those kids.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone.
that's what that's the.
loves
But
those kids.
to think
Yeah.
she had the courage to
Yeah.
do something, but the point of that is you have the courage. The kid had a breakthrough, So you have to have courage in these situations to some extent. All right, guys, back to you and whatever we're talking about.
I know. I was just saying that I was doing it for so long, and I noticed a need that these people needed
Yes.
more love and
Right.
care. And then the patients that are long term, sadly, do not get many visitors. So in my nursing home right now, we have 320 residents. The short term rehab patients, people are in and out all day. The long term residents,
dwindle.
There's a handful of people who get visitors every day,
God.
and then there's the rest of them that are literally just by themselves all the time.
And do you see that in their demeanor? Like they wish they had someone who would come to see them?
100%. You
Yeah,
see
that's
how
so
they act
sad.
out. You see how they, for attention. It's very sad. So a couple of years back, I tried to develop a company which failed miserably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
I
I'm-
did.
I think I'm still
What-
paying for it.
What kind of company?
Where people would pay me to advocate for their loved ones.
He had a carpet company.
Wow, that's excellent.
Well,
That's a great idea.
it was a great idea, except I didn't know how to
That's a
execute
great
it.
idea.
I couldn't
Remember when
execute
you
it.
did your carpet company?
You know,
out of
that
your
still
little
has
tiny
potential.
car?
Thank you for that.
That still has potential.
you.
I
It
It
wouldn't give
does,
up on
but
that.
she's evolved. And
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just look at the good that you do for these people.
oh, I know. Well,
Imagine
trust
you're
me,
sitting
that's
and
why
you don't know,
she's here.
you don't have anybody for weeks and months, and then
Kind of like you
all of
and
a sudden you
Kyle.
go into someone shows up every day or twice a week.
So,
No,
well, so I did a little
think
bit.
it's-
I didn't really do that though.
good stuff.
I didn't really do that. What I did was the family
She
would
didn't do
hire
that.
me. The family
the
would hire
family.
me. And then what I would do is I would go to their care plan meetings. I would advocate for them. Did they get a shower? Are they clean?
Well,
Are
we
they
could go
taken
off a
care of?
branch off of that we would also visit them.
Yes, because that is something. Oh, we
Yeah.
can talk after because I
Yeah.
have so many ideas.
You don't want to talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not.
You
I
would
don't know.
finance the whole thing.
Of
Wait a
course you
second.
would.
Wait.
Yes,
Bring
I
this
heard
up.
that, and thank you, Arthur,
Wait,
for
no,
that.
wait. Do not
Financing the whole thing. I
approach that
appreciate
with her.
that.
I walk out with no car, no money. But
So,
wait, but
yeah,
you're,
ahead.
you started with Nursing Home Warriors as
couple
that
of years
kind of
ago.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's how we got to know each other
Right.
because choking is so dangerous, and
Yes.
you are a LifeVac fanatic,
I
which
am.
I appreciate because you're in that environment. Because when you get older, particularly any kind of dementia, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all these things affect your ability to choke.
Yeah.
We saved 2 people in the Bristols this month.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, one in I think Northport and
That's
one in
fantastic.
Armonk. Because we're finally getting there. In the UK, we've saved thousands of people in elder care because you get old, your muscles are weaker, and you choke more often.
You also, just to throw it out there, just so you know, a lot of times people eat in their beds,
Right,
and so they're not even positioned correctly.
right. So
You
there's
know,
really very
so,
little
so
option.
they're
to
eating
save
like
them
this.
anyway.
Like I'll walk into a room. I'm a clinical dietitian. I'll walk into a room to watch somebody eat, and they're like this. I'm like, I don't understand how you can eat like that. They need to be positioned straight. They need to
Yeah,
have their
wow.
head up. So
Wow.
there's a lot. Even if you don't have any of those neurological defects, it's still very easy for
Yeah.
you to choke because you're not positioned correctly.
Well, plus, in
your
general,
bed.
no matter what, it's simple. We have 22 muscles to swallow. They get weaker too, right? So you get weaker, your muscles get weaker. But and it goes back to the rig kit type thing too. You see it all the time. The elder care didn't do this, the elder care didn't do that. Well, mistakes happen, and like you said, the perfectly healthy person can choke too. So
100%.
we have to once again take back that self-responsibility to get these in elder care LifeVacs in there and not blame the care plan, the thing that did food, they didn't get the right. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen even if everything is perfect.
Right.
So
So-
I'm going to explain to you just so you understand what happens when somebody chokes in a nursing home
Why she explains stuff to you?
Because she wants to.
because
Yeah.
I feel connected to him.
Dude, nice.
We're going
Something
to
in
take.
common.
Is it the sweatshirt, baby?
It's the fact that he wants to take your money to start. out a
Yeah. Oh
business.
God. Oh, I should have known it was coming.
I'll figure something out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So let's say you're the resident let's say resident A is choking and they're all the way at the ends of the hallway. Now, if they're eating in their room, nobody's standing there watching them.
Right.
So what's supposed to happen is a nurse's aide or a nurse is supposed to be walking the hallways, looking inside the rooms and making sure that nobody's choking. Okay, so let's say they get to that room and that person's already choking. Now they have to go all the way back to the nursing station, call a code. Then they have to go find the suction machine. The suction machine is, as you know, you're pushing the item. You might push the item further
Plus,
in,
it's powered.
But
It's in
you
the
have to
cafeteria.
grab it,
Forget
run down the hallway with it,
Right.
plug it in, make sure that all the parts are actually there, right? And if, and then you try to suction. By then, I mean, I know of 2 residents that have died because
yeah.
that was not successful. So
Think
it is
about one of
time.
these in each room or in each hallway.
I don't
Oh.
even think they need to be in each room. I think they should just be on
Crash carts.
every
Every hallway.
nursing station, every
Right.
crash
Yeah,
cart.
that would do
Right.
it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Every nursing,
But
every
look,
place where
look.
people eat.
I see you put her on LifeVac, she'll kill you. So she's an advocate for LifeVac because she's seen it. But I
Yeah.
want you to talk about what
I'm
you're
off
doing
LifeVac
now.
again. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I hate to do that because that's important, but I think what you're
Okay.
doing in the accidental rudeness chapter is this unanticipated issue that you're addressing, and really, I mean, it's amazing what you're doing, particularly because you work a lot and you got George and you got to deal with him. But
How you doing?
so talk about your
Okay,
collection
so-
of clothes. I mean
Okay,
that
so there's this one resident. His name is Carl, and he just has my heart.
I know
100
Carl.
Yeah, he has my heart,
I
100%.
like Carl.
And I was noticing that Carl was always wearing the same clothing. And if you really look at it, residents
Looks
wear
like
the same.
Courage.
Yes, I don't know about that, but
How often you wear that sweatshirt?
This is probably the second time.
No way. Today?
You know, you always interrupt her, please.
I know, right?
Please.
Thank
fine.
you.
That's
Yeah.
rude.
so
When we go on a commercial, I'll send the whole.
So residents in nursing homes usually wear the same 3 outfits week after week, year after year, on and on and on. They also, Christmas comes and they don't get a gift. Father's Day, Mother's Day come, they don't get a gift. Their birthday comes, they don't get a gift. And they don't have much opportunity to buy new clothes either because they're not going to the store, and Medicaid doesn't give them enough money to buy anything after they spend, $2 a day at the vending machine. So there's no money, there's no
Well,
opportunity.
plus too, they're not really internet savvy, so they're not going on Amazon.
No, there's
and
no way. They
ordering
have
stuff.
no way to get
Yeah,
clothing. They
it's
really
amazing.
don't. So
Never would have thought that. But
I-
it's such a big need.
I decided that Carl needed to be dressed well. So I started
Wow.
this charity called Nursing Home Warrior, where we get donations from the community, and whether it's money or clothing, and we pack boxes. Me.
Yeah, you
I
and
pack-
George.
Me and George.
George
Actually,
is sleeping.
Paulie helps me, but he's more like he carries the boxes for me. But we pack boxes of clothing and we give them to nursing homes. And so far we've given about 6,000
amazing?
pieces of clothing out.
6,000 pieces
Of clothing out, yeah.
See,
to
I-
about
I
100
was
Her
nursing
talking-
homes.
cruising
I
around
was
in her
talking to my neighbor
little
today.
Jeep.
It's funny. I said, if I was worth
Not funny.
$500 billion, or even
You are to me.
the argument was, what can you do if you'll have 2 billion or you have 500 billion? To me, whatever you can have with 2 billion, you can have with
This is a
500
big
billion.
problem
right?
in your life.
No, the reason I brought this up is because we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I think
we were-
about that often.
Yeah,
also.
right.
No, we went into like someone like Elon, right? He has all these companies and now he's in politics. I said, if I was him and I had 500 billion, I wake up in the morning. I swear that's what I would do. I'd be like, who can I help today without them knowing it's me? Something like this.
You
How
should
much
do
would
that.
the interest of my money could cover the
You
entire
need to
country
go.
on that?
Get out of here.
What do I
Start
get,
working.
right?
Make
You know?
the billions. But here's
No,
what
no,
she-
if you have the money,
But
I'm just
here's
saying
what
if you
she
have.
did. Here's
Right.
what she did.
Yeah.
Tell us about. Was it last weekend you went to all those places? This is her.
Yeah,
So she
I-
gets these
God bless
people
you.
to give the
Impressive.
clothes.
I pack the clothes up, I pack them into boxes, and then I deliver them to the nursing homes around. I've gone to Brooklyn, Queens.
This was one day at last week.
Last week was just Queens, but I've gone to Philadelphia, I've gone to New Jersey, I've gone to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania to drop these boxes off, because a lot of these
That's
people
huge.
don't have anything. But back to the book for a second, it's interesting because I get more out of it than I'm sure they do.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
I-
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what it's all about.
I
what I'm saying.
I
about,
feel
yeah.
good. Like it makes me feel good. So I
Yeah.
had this conversation. I happened to be with my my son's father. We were driving to see my son a couple of weeks ago together, and we were in the car for like 5 hours together. I'm surprised he didn't kill me, but besides
Me
that,
too.
yeah, I'm very surprised he didn't
Feels
throw me.
good.
Somebody
like,
will kill.
Given, it just feels good when you give. I don't know. Some people don't. To me, it does.
No,
So
absolutely.
my
But
ex-husband.
that's the holding the door a little
Yeah.
longer feeling.
Yeah.
So we're in the car and we're talking. We're talking a lot, and he's explaining things to me like I play chess. I play checkers. I need to learn how to play chess. Play the long game, Danielle. And we're going on and on and on. And then something came up about the charity, and he said, "Well, you're not making any money from this." I said, "I'm actually making. If anything, I'm losing money every day."
Yes,
Right.
you
I
do
said,
lose
I
that.
really have no money, and I'm making it worse for myself.
She's
Yeah.
very smart.
I can tell. No, it's
No,
not
but
about.
like-
no, I know what
Like
yeah.
I have no money, and every day I'm spending more money I don't have. So he said to
That
me,
you're good at.
yeah, very good.
Yeah.
So he said to me, you got to start thinking. You have to start playing chess. Like forget about the doing stuff for free and you need to start making money today because you need to pay your rent. And I get it. And he's right, because at the end of the day, I do need to feed myself, but nothing feels better to me than, eating pasta with butter if I have to.
You're supposed to make that for me. You keep freaking blowing me off.
It is a good feeling.
But nothing makes me feel better than eating pasta with butter and knowing that I'm delivering to nursing homes.
But see, you
It's
guys,
okay.
look,
Lori
this
does
is the
stuff
woman
like
in
that.
the,
Like,
Bisbee's
she goes,
a psycho
Bisbee
too.
does that, yeah.
The woman in,
Yeah, we're out. No audio.
wow, how you doing? Well,
Go ahead.
are we back?
I don't think so. I don't think
It's like semi. Did you step on a wire or something?
The dog.
Take your foot off the wire or whatever.
I'm not on the wire. George, did you do something? Hi, George.
Look at the way George looks.
Well, let's pretend we're on and finish
right,
the show. So the point.
So thank you so much, Arthur, for
Stop,
starting
no.
our business. We
We
really appreciate
Give me
it.
some time. I gotta work on it.
Hey, but this is the point.
Thank you.
So, I see she put up pictures of all these boxes in the car and the clothes all over her
Oh,
house.
it's terrible. It's
And-
actually terrible.
But here's what, wish more people listening and watching. Unanticipated need has a soulful background, meaning it's not just the shirt. It's someone cared enough to give him a shirt, right? It's that feeling of putting a new outfit on, right? We talked about
Yes.
that one day.
I mean, I love when I go to the store and I buy something new and I put it on. It makes me feel
Yes, you're
prettier
good at that
or
too, but-
happier. And
Yeah.
Not
give
you,
some-
not about you now. No more going to the store and buying outfits.
But these people don't get that. So actually, you and I had discussed this last time I was on your show. When I get a lot more items, which I need a whole bunch of donations. So if anyone wants to donate, please reach out and I will be more than happy to pick them up. I want to do a pop-up store. I want to do where I go into the nursing home and I set it up and have a mirror and have a bag and have them label them right there. And
Yeah,
people
it'd be
come
a
by.
fun day.
Yes.
It bring
and-
them back to
yes.
the world, back to
Yes,
the,
it
when
feel
they
a little bit like they
got
were back
ready
at a
for the
store again.
prom,
Yes.
and they went out.
They tried it on and they put it
Right.
on. They're like, I feel good in it. I feel pretty.
Right.
And that's like really my goal.
Well, you got to
is to
do
do
your
that.
own show.
I know.
You can have Courage, your co-host.
Okay.
Courage is
No, I have
awesome.
Paulie.
Look at his
I have
clothes
Paul-
he's
I
got
have
on.
Paulie. He could be our.
Did someone
another-
donate this to you?
What?
Was that donated?
I really don't know where this came from. It was on my. I didn't even know if we were gonna. I texted him around 5:15. So we still on? I didn't hear from him till like 10 to 6.
Terrible.
So I was like, all right. Then he's like, yeah, 6 o'clock, we're on. So I'm like, all right, run to the shower. It's like, let's just get out
Well,
of
hey,
here.
thank you for coming. I love you.
Of course.
You are amazing. I think make sure it's a very clear plug for the 8 people that are listening or watching. Explain how do they get in touch with Nursing Home More?
they could follow me on Facebook, but they should probably spell out my name so that they could follow me. You want me to-
I can't.
Do you want me to
out
spell
your
my name?
Yeah, I guess.
It's Danielle, Danielle.
She had to think.
Pagolatos, Pagoulatos, Lieblein, Lieblein. It's a lot. It's
Can
just
we
a
go
lot.
to Nursing Home Warriors?
Well, I think if you put that in Facebook, I might pop up. I'm not positive because it's not
All
its
right,
own
we
thing.
may have to take
How
a
about
step
go to
back.
Arthur,
We
and then
may
he'll
have to take a
go to
step back
Arthur.
in the promotion process. Come up with something a little easier.
Well, I'm trying to build a website, but I don't have the money.
I know. But
Audio.
I say Nursing
Thank
Home.
you so much for that. Again, I appreciate it.
Nursing Home Warriors. Reach out, donate.
Donate, please.
They donate clothes, but time, help, anything.
Yeah.
I think the
Boxes,
key to wrapping up accidental rudeness is everything we talked about has a spiritual, social content, right? They feel better getting clothes, right? We feel better if we're polite. We feel better if we do something for other people. We feel better if we're kind. So be selfish and help someone else.
Exactly.
How's that?
I think it's perfect.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And we have no idea if we've been on. So we're just going to sign off like we were on.
No idea. Oh, it is. Here we.
And sing along if you know the words.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.
Ray.
I'm here.
Hey.
Wow.
Do you know Ray, Mr.
No.
3000?
No. Hi, Ray.
So I am Mr. 3000 coming to you live from Cape Coral, Florida. Why am I Mr. 3000? Can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy, go.
All right. Why am I Mr. 3000? Well, on October 20th, my 3-year-old daughter choked, and I used the LifeVac to save her life. She was the 3,000th person saved with the LifeVac. Reported saved, because we're well over that. Where are we at? You know what, Bobby? Roll that footage, Bobby.
He's better. We need him to run this show. Oh, yeah.
All right. And on better news, that number was wrong, and I love when the number is wrong because I have the right number, thanks to you, Donna.
Yeah.
The accurate number saves to date, 3,785 saves. That is 2,364 children to date. So, in 158 days since my little girl, since number 3,000, we have saved 785 people in 158 days.
Isn't that crazy?
insane.
Isn't that insane?
It's insane.
Now, since this show is just out of control, and you're here, and I like you, we brought on tomorrow's Choking Awareness Day, which is
yes, it is.
I'm pretty sure we made up about 10 years ago and just pretended it was a day, and it's actual day now. And
it is
awareness to 5,000 people that still choke to death and that we combat. I will be on Joe Piscopo's radio show in the morning. I'll be on Brian Kilmeade's radio show, and then I'll be on Newsmax in the afternoon. But the big news is working with Dr. Ben Carson, and it's unbelievable how nasty politically people can be. But the thing about him, man, he's a humble, kind, gentle genius and very soulful, has faith in God, and he wants to help. He wants to help us. And I had the honor of hanging out with him all day, which is a little he's a neurosurgeon. I was a truck driver, so we had a little challenge connecting in the beginning. Hey, you ever been on Boulevard by the thing?
Right.
No, I was operating on someone's brain.
Right.
But what a humble, kind, gentle man. And it's just an honor to have him on board to help us and raise the mission, mostly because of his soul. All the stuff we're talking about, when someone has it in them. When you care and you do something, then you feel it. And he's one of them guys. So I just
and speaking of Ben Carson, he would be so amazed. He would be so amazed at the stats of this week. I mean, this week alone, 48 people this week were saved by LifeVac. Monday we had a record 17 people in one day on Monday saved, reported saved.
Now, you know what hit me in my heart, and I just got to chill again too. About 16 people a day choke to death every day, beginning of time. 17 now. Some of them called, they saved someone a week ago or just got around to it. But it hit me that after 13 years, if you took that number correctly, the first day in the history of mankind, no one choked to death.
Nobody choked.
It is just mind blowing and it's important for the world to know, not the 8 people watching us, that you can do it. You can change the world. And if we can eliminate a leading cause of accidental death, come on, let's go. We can do all these things. But God,
speaking of the leading cause of death, let's go into the highlight of the week, shall we?
Yeah.
Highlight of the week. It is a 1-year-old little boy who choked on some watermelon. Here's the mom's story. My son was sitting in the high chair eating watermelon. Suddenly his eyes began to bulge, and he opened his mouth and no sound came out. His eyes got watery and he looked like he was trying to gasp for air. I started to panic. I told my husband to grab the LifeVac, while I took my baby out of the chair, turned him around, and began back blows. Nothing was coming out. So I laid him down and pumped the LifeVac once. Immediately, my son started to cry, and the piece of watermelon came out. And that is the highlight of the week.
Hey, dude, when you read those, that's gotta hit you because you were there. Yeah,
Right
I know.
there.
I know.
Yep.
I know. He's unbelievable. He's so great. And you know that those stories really bring it to reality, you know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we're all so grateful that that they had it and that little guy's okay. And I'm always very grateful for you that you take the time out to come on and help raise awareness and save more lives. And I always say that, you know, you are Mr. 3000 and there was a God reason that you are. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, you know, but by far as a parent, you never want any parent to go through that situation.
What's your
And,
line?
but if you do, have a LifeVac. You're going to need it. Trust me.
All right, brother. Hey,
On that note, I'm going to give my closing statement here. LifeVac, have it and don't need it. Don't need it and not have it. The life you save could be your own.
That's awesome.
He did
God
that.
bless, guys.
Great.
Yay! Thank you, Ray.
God bless.
All right, buddy. Thank you. So that's our show.
Thank you.
You guys
We
did
don't
great.
know.
Thank
We
you.
don't know if we're off. now.
Yeah, who
We might
knows?
still be
We
on.
just
Might still
pretend
be
we're
on,
on.
yeah.
We talked about a lot of
This
stuff
is
we didn't know
for
whether we
people.
were on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Packed. Internet's going crazy. Are we off? Oh, we get to say goodbye, my friend. Thank you all for watching The Man in the Arena. Thank you to my guests. And hey,
Thank
be
you.
kind. Change the world.
Bye-bye. And sing along if you know the words.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death, so get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.